The Supreme Court ruled today that voters may ban racial preferences in deciding who gets into a state college and who doesn't. Affirmative action, as it is known, is still constitutional, but this decision gives voters in each state the final say in whether to allow it.
Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show with your host, Shikama. Before I start this, I need to lay down some facts. Regardless of what newspapers or the mainstream media might say, President Obama might say, other politicians might say, the fact is that the overwhelming beneficiary to the tune of 75% for affirmative action are white women. Not black, not green, not purple, not polka dotted. White women are the overwhelming beneficiaries of affirmative action. That means getting into school, getting a job, getting hired in some sort of weird position, moving up, being promoted, going into some weird market. But when they want to talk about affirmative action, they trot out the old black, 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 because people are ignorant of the facts. Now, you cannot be ignorant of the facts because I have just told you the overwhelming majority beneficiary of affirmative action are white women. Now, how did this even happen? Before, I'm still not even getting into the story. How did this even happen when Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement was coming to the last parts where they were passing legislation after legislation for civil rights? The feminists stepped in and got them to declare women as a minority. I mean, how friggin' sinister and evil is that? Women are a minority, so everything that black people were working for to get them to pass, women get to benefit from it too. It's a friggin' lie. It's a hoax, and it's a friggin' lie, and I just cannot stand it. Black people, let this be a lesson to you. When you get in line to get served lunch, you don't invite anybody else. Black people suffer from this in the United States of America consistently. And why am I so angry? Because black people start forming groups for themselves for them to benefit the black community, and these idiots, these bastards, these idiot Negroes turn around and go, well, who else can we invite? Let's invite the Asians. Asians don't need help. Let's invite the Latinos. The Latinos don't need help. Nobody else needs help. When you're standing in line with you and your lawyers getting ready to pass legislation, you do not invite a snake into the middle of your friggin' dinner. And that's exactly what has happened. And why am I angry at Latinos? Because Latinos are killing black folk. Latino are the largest competitor to the black community. Everything that the black community has fought for, the Latino community has swooped in and completely stomped on the black community. And I don't mean metaphorically, I mean literally. Housing, jobs, everything. Stop it with the minority. Say black. When you mean black, say black. Not with a minority. Don't form a minority group. Because you know what? La Raza says Latino only. La Raza says Latino first. Over the white man. Over the black man. That's how they form their groups. And when the Jews go to form their groups, they form it for Jews only. It's stupid Negroes going in line with the lawyers talking about, let's help other people too. Let's help other minorities. No, you help black people. Stop being a coon. Stop being a Sambo. Stand up on your own 2 feet. If you have paid for your lawyers to get to the White House, to get to Congress, to get to the Supreme Court, don't be looking for anybody else to help you and assist you and be a part of your movement. Because as sure as you are black, they will stab you right dead square in the back. Case in point, affirmative action. In a ruling 6-2, the Supreme Court said in Schuette versus Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action et al. Upheld Michigan's constitutional amendment that bans racial preferences in admission to its public universities. What does that mean? That means in the state of Michigan, you can no longer consider race as a qualification to enter a university. Now I want you to pay attention to this. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who is what? A female. Who is what? A female. Pay attention here. Justice Sonia Sotomayor lashed out at her colleagues in a bitter dissent, calling them, quote, out of touch with reality, end quote. She went on to make the incredible argument that the amendment, which explicitly forbids racial discrimination, itself amounts to racial discrimination. I mean, how retarded can you be? What an idiot. This is a Supreme Court justice? Her argument was that permissible, quote, race-sensitive admission policies, the new name for racial preferences, both serve the compelling interest of obtaining the educational benefits that flow from a diverse student body and inure people to the benefit of racial minorities. By the way, no one has come up with hard evidence of the supposed educational benefits that come from a racially mixed student body. And there's mounting evidence of harm done to minorities through academic mismatching. That is to say, if you put somebody with a lower educational background into a higher educational institution with which requires superior qualifications for entrance, you are doing a disservice to the minority in question, including the white female. Far more important than the legal battles over racial preferences in college admissions is the question of why they are being called for in the first place. The SAT's purpose is to predict how well a student will perform in college classes. Blacks score at least 100 points lower than whites on each of the assessment areas. Critical reading, math, and writing. Asians score higher than whites in math and writing. SAT scores are also reported for Mexican Americans, Puerto Ricans, Indians, and others. Blacks score lower than these minorities, who themselves score lower than whites and Asians. So they have attuned the SAT scores specifically to predict the success of the student in academic classes. If you have a student who does not pass admission but is allowed to enter the university based on race, that student will be at the lower end of the student body to the point where there is a large indication that they flunk out. That same student, if he went or she went to a university where his SAT scores were accepted point blank, because that is the qualifications to enter that particular university, there is every indication that that same student would make A's at that university. Now, how stupid is it that they are taking race into consideration for something as important as a university education, and they are washing out black people and white women? Tell me what you think about that. Thank you for watching the Shikama Live Show.